Good afternoon, everyone. It's a gorgeous but breezy day here at Colonia Middle School as the Old Bridge Knights take on the Colonia Patriots. We have Colonia baseball. It's my pleasure to be joined by Coach Bobby Tominski. Bobby, what do you think?
Thank you, Mike. It's great to be here. As you mentioned, it is a beautiful day for some softball. A little bit windy, but the girls are about to get ready to play, and looks like we're going to have a very good matchup today, Old Bridge and Colonia.
Yeah, let's hope so. I'm sure we will. Starting lineups, let's look at Old Bridge. Leading off, we have Kira Limaldi. Batting second, the pitcher, Skylar Pelowski. Skylar also an offensive threat, 28 hits, 14 RBI. Batting third is Isabella Soto, the shortstop. Batting cleanup, Daniela Flores, the third baseman. She leads the team with 14 RBI. Danielle's a senior. Kendall Riggerman is the first baseman. Abby McSorley next. She'll be in right. Victoria Keller at center. Batting seventh, Sophia Fazzino. The catcher batting batting eighth will be Ella Kuhn, the left fielder. And then number one, Nicolette, I believe that's Ampania, the second baseman.
And opening up today for Colonia on the mound is number 7, Mariella Spina.
And the first pitch of the game. That's high for ball one.
As we were talking about earlier before we came on live, both teams are playing in the GMC Red Division. Colonia with a record of 4-2 in the Red Division, and Old Bridge with a record currently of 3-5 in the Red Division. So big game here division-wise.
Here's the 1-0. That's in there for a call strike, count even at 1-1. As Bobby mentioned, Mariella Spina, number 7 on the mound. The windup, here's the 1-1. Swinging, strike 2.
Nice pitch. And Colonia comes into the game having lost 2 of their last 3, but hopefully they can get back on the winning track here today.
And here's the 1-2. High, count is even at 2-2. Defensively for Colonia, Arabella Palmieri behind the plate. Leah Westcott, number 10 at first. Alyssa Leschnauer, number 9 at second. Here's the 2-2. Swung on, foul to the right side. Count remains even at 2-2.
I thought that was coming for you,
I
Mike.
thought that was coming for me too. I was ready. Continuing Colonia defense at short. Annabelle Schubik, number 3, over at third. Victoria Trupa, number 4. Camilla Westcott in left. Sydney Leschnauer in center, and Kalissa Bizuski Carter, number 13, around and right. 2-2 the count. We're just underway. Top of the first, nobody out. Foul.
Number 8 is battling here early in the game.
Yeah, there's a bit of a stiff breeze, and that may be a factor in this game.
Yep, and it seems as though the breeze from the flag behind home plate is blowing out. So let's see if that makes any sort of difference here. It's definitely not blowing in.
A 2-2.
Nice pitch.
Swinging, strike 3. 1 down. Brings up Skylar Pelowski, the pitcher for Old Bridge. Skylar also, as I mentioned, leading the team with 28 hits and 14 RBI. Number 14. One down, top of the first. High, ball 1.
Spina is a senior, been around for a while. Definitely throws really hard. This is the first time I'm actually getting to see her live. I have seen her before on TV 35.
There's a ground ball to third, and 2 down. That brings up the shortstop, Isabella Soto, number 2. Two down now, the pitch to Soto. In there for a call, strike one. Here's the 0-1. That's in the air to short left. That may do. No!
Good hustle by
Nice play by Camilla
fielder.
Westcott, number 27. And that'll do it. 3 up, 3 down. We go now to the bottom of the first. No score as Colonia is coming to bat.
He just goes on and on. He
He's
goes,
a breadth of knowledge. He knows what socks they wear on Tuesdays. That's not. It's like, okay.
yeah.
To the bottom of the first we go. Mike Forbes along with Bobby Tominski. Colonia versus Oldbridge on this beautiful afternoon. We welcome our Facebook and YouTube live viewers. Leading off for Colonia, the center fielder, Sydney Leschnauer. Speedy center fielder. He's got 5 stolen bases this year. Batting second, Alyssa Leschnauer. Playing second, Haley Conklin. With a .524 average she brings. She's batting third. Marielle Espina is batting cleanup. Leah Westcott, first base, batting fifth, followed by Arabella Palmieri, the catcher. Batting seventh, Victoria Trooper playing third. The shortstop, Annabelle Schubik, batting eighth, Camilla Westcott. And left is batting ninth, and Kalissa Bazuski Carter around in right.
All right, so Colonia with a 3 up, 3 down on defense. Let's see if they can get something started here in the bottom of the first. Be nice to get out to a nice early lead here today.
That it would. Leschnauer bunts.
Nice swinging bunt, but the third baseman for Oldbridge was ready to make that play.
And with one down, that brings up Alyssa Leschnauer, playing second today. The pitch from Skylar Pawlowski. Low, ball one.
For the Patriots, coached by Coach Nicole Donahue, who was a terrific player herself here not too long ago. Took over for the very accomplished Coach Ann Serrana, who retired, what was it, 2 years ago now? So this is Coach Donahue's second year at the helm.
Wasn't too long ago. Here's the 1-1. And that's in there for a call strike. 1-2 now. Number 9, Alyssa Leschnauer. With a 1-2 count. The 1-2, swinging strike 3. So 2 quick outs.
Yep, nice pitch by number 14. She really brought a little heat there with the 1-2 count.
And that brings up Haley Conklin. Haley now leading the team with a .524 average. So we'll see how she does against Skylar. And the pitch.
Yeah. Haley, also a talented basketball player, was a important member of this year's Colonia girls basketball team. Well-rounded athlete.
0-2 now to Haley Conklin.
I don't know if this is Oldbridge's ace, but she's certainly been pretty dominant these first three batters, excuse me. Throwing hard, throwing strikes.
Still 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. That's a bouncer to short. Bobbled at first.
It took a funny bounce to the shortstop, and she hesitated a little and then came up with a tough throw. Good hustle by Haley to run that out. So Colonia, we've got a runner on base.
And that brings up number 7, Mariela Spina, the pitcher for today. 2 out, 1 on the pitch. That's low for ball 1. So Colonia with the runner on first. Bottom of the first, no score, just underway. High ball 2.
Good eye by Spina.
And the pitch swung on foul back. Like I said, that roar you hear.
Yes, it is not Michael or I breathing. It is the actual wind coming from across the field.
It certainly is not. Our health, our health is good. As Bobby said, stiff breeze going out to center. And the pitch.
Oh, I don't know if that was intentional or she missed it, but that was the ultimate changeup.
That was either a changeup or what we used to call a folly floater.
Yes, got stuck on my knee, Coach.
Right. 0-2 now. The pitch. Grounder to second.
Oh, good hustle. Safe. All right, good hustle there, running it out by Haley. And the shortstop with a little bit of a bobble, and then she tossed it just a little to the left. And Colonia is now first and second, 2 outs with number 10 coming up to bat.
Says Leah Westcott, first base player. We have, 2 on. That was a tough play at second. So Colonia mounting a threat.
Sophomore Leah Westcott up here in a big spot. Leah growing up was a fantastic basketball player as well, but she retired when she got to high school and is now full-time softball.
Two and on out, Aaliyah. 2 on, 2 out, bottom of the first. Colonia mounting a bit of a threat. And the 2-0. That's
in there.
Into right for a base hit.
Oh.
Runners will be held, so the bases are now loaded for the Patriots.
Good idea. She probably could have tried to stretch that out, but Coach Donahue held her up. Bases loaded, and we have up at bat number 11, Arabella Palmieri.
This is our catcher, Arabella Palmieri, with the bases loaded. A chance to break it wide open for Colonia here in the bottom of the first with 2 outs. The pitch, high and away, ball 1.
Well, we talked about putting pressure on Old Bridge early. Well, they've certainly done that after the first 2 batters. Heads up, we have a foul ball coming from the JV. Certainly after these first 2 batters, Colonia now with bases loaded, this would be really a base hit here, brings in probably 2 to get Colonia off to a great start.
Yeah, a little interruption as the ball came from the other field, but now we're underway again. The count is 1-0, bottom of the first. 2 outs, bases loaded for the Patriots. The 1-0 on the way, swung on, foul tipped, 1-1 now the count. Strike 2.
All right, protect the plate here, put it in play, see if we can manufacture a run.
And the 1-2. High ball 2. The catcher, Arabella Palmieri. The bases are full of Patriots. 2 out, here's the 2-2. Swinging, strike 3, and the Patriots leave them loaded. So they mounted a threat, couldn't quite put it over the top. At the end of 1, it's Colonia 1, Old Bridge 1. This is Woodbridge Television Softball. We welcome our Facebook and YouTube viewers live.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
To the top of the second we go. Numbers 4, 5, and 6 batters for Old Bridge, facing Mariela Spina, who's looked very effective so far, Bobby.
She really has. Great first inning. Let's hope that her energy continues. She threw a lot of straight fastballs in that first inning. See if Oldbridge makes any kind of adjustment, but she's definitely a powerful pitcher.
Count 0-1 now to the third baseman Danielle Flores.
And as expected, Spina is 4-3 on the season. She's pitched 81 of the 115 innings this year thus far, so she's Colonia's ace.
1-1 now, the count. Top of the second, no score. Colonia Patriots softball on the Woodbridge channels. Mike Forbes, Bobby Tominski. It's a pleasure to be with you on this windy but beautiful afternoon. The 1-1 changeup in there for a call, strike 2.
If this wind keeps up, we may need a new truck. We're shaking up here.
I'm not sure if that was a changeup she threw or if the wind took the pitch.
Getting dizzy.
That one's high. Count even now.
I know we're a little higher, but this wind has to impact the pitching as well, too. There's no way that these pitches are not impacted in some way with this wind coming straight in from the JV field over there.
Agreed. Count is even now to Danielle Flores. And the 2-2. That's rounded up the middle for a base hit.
Nice piece of hitting there by Danielle.
So the Knights with a runner on. Top of the second brings up first baseman Kendall Rickleman, as she will face Mariela Spina. So 1 on, nobody out. She squares to bunt. Foul.
So Ober's looking to advance the runner here and get the runner moved over with a little bunt play. Colonia was ready for that. They reacted and covered it very well. The ball went foul. Inside.
Count is even now to Kendall Rickleman as we're on the top of the second. Oldbridge with a runner on. The 1-1 on the way. Swinging strike 2.
Nice pitch. Yeah, sometimes you just need to rear back and throw it as hard as you can, and in that case she did. Nice high fastball.
I was going to say she's changing speeds effectively too, which makes her fastball even more effective.
Absolutely, when she comes with that heavy heat there.
Here's the 1-2 pitch.
Nice.
That's just foul, just gets a piece. Colonia infield hoping to turn 2 with a runner on first. Top of the second, no score. And the count 1-2 to Kendall Rickleman. Right fielder Abby McSorley on deck. Here's the pitch. High, count full now. I'm sorry, 2-2. Count is even at 2-2. Colonia had the bases loaded in the bottom of the first, but couldn't quite pull it off. Nobody out. Here's the 2-2.
Just a bit high, I think, but that looked good from this advantage point. Coach didn't say anything, so it must have been a little high.
So the count full now. Spina with the payoff. High ball 4.
All right, so
that was a tough one.
Yeah, there were a couple there that were close, but
Rickleman battled.
Yep. Spina will settle in now. She's an experienced pitcher. She's a senior, 81 innings on the year. She'll relax. Get the next batter out, like the coaches always say. Just focus on this batter here.
And that batter, right fielder Abby McSorley. Oldbridge with 2 on, nobody out.
It's up.
Strike 1. Oldbridge mounting a threat. Runners on first and second, nobody out. And the count 0-1 to Abby McSorley. Spina with the 0-1. Low and inside.
As you can see from that cloud of dust that just came across the field, the wind is blowing dead center.
The 1-1 on the way. Swung on, and that's a popped into the infield, and a nice play by second baseman Melissa Leschnauer. So we'll take a look again. She had to go to her right, and she pulled it off. So now there's one down. Center fielder Victoria Keller with one away. The pitch, foul back and out of play. Runners remain on first and second for Old Bridge. One down now. The count 0-1 to center fielder Keller. Here's the 0-1.
Just a bit high. Spina's, most of her pitches that are being called balls are just about an inch away from that strike zone. She'll make the adjustment.
Like I say, Bobby, she's a senior, so she knows.
She's been through this before.
She knows the game. The pitch, grounded, that's foul to the left side.
Yep. And Coach Donohue's still sitting on her bucket. She's not overreacting to anything. She knows the girls will make any necessary adjustments here. It's still early in the game.
One and two, one out. Here's the 1-2.
Nice pitch.
Had some heat on that, Bobby.
It sure did. The Old Bridge player was just a second behind, but it was already in the glove. Great job by Spina. So we have 2 outs here.
2 down now. Brings up number 7, the catcher, Sophia Fizzino. Sophia leads the Knights with 4 stolen bases. Here's the pitch. Swinging, strike 1.
Nice pitch.
So 2 down now. A little breathing room for the Patriots. Old Bridge with runners on first and second. The count 0-1 and the pitch. Did she go around? Yes, she did.
She did.
So Spina in the driver's seat at this point, 0-2 with 2 down to Sophia Fizzino. Fizzino calls time. Spino now with a chance to get out of this inning without any damage, and the 0-2 pitch. High,
a little
ball
bit
one.
high. That's foul back.
So Fizzino battling here. Top of the second, no score. The Knights have runners on first and second. The count is 1-2 to the catcher, Sophia Fizzino. And the 1-2. And she stays alive.
Well, continuing to battle here.
Absolutely.
This is where Spina's got her with 2 fastballs. Now maybe she'll throw a change here, catch her off guard, and hopefully get out of this inning.
The pitch on the way, low and inside. 2-2 now. Colonia Patriots baseball taking on the Old Bridge Knights, and we welcome our Facebook and YouTube live viewers.
And like the mayor says, we will be rooting for Colonia. Apologies in advance to all Old Bridge fans.
I'm sure they understand. The 2-2. That's lined and caught by the first baseman. Nice
Westcott.
job by Spina. Leah Westcott putting it away there. Nice job getting out of that inning.
The Patriots survive a little bit of a tough spot there, and we move to the what inning we go
to? The bottom of the
second. Colonia hopefully can get started here. Let's get a run on the board.
All right.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama?
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
To the bottom of the second we go. Mike Forbes with Bobby Tominski. No score. Colonia versus Old Bridge.
Well, thanks, Mike. And before we get too deep into the game, I just want to say, as I always do, what an awesome facility this is here. What an awesome facility that we have, not only here, but in all of our schools. Compliments of the terrific mayor and administration, as well as the school board and then the parks department. So we're very lucky here. Look at this beautiful turf field that we're blessed with.
No doubt about it. And these players are lucky also. Victoria Trupa strikes out. Bottom of the second, as I mentioned, no score. Top three, no score. No, bottom of the second. Foul back. Annabelle Schubik, the shortstop, with an 0-1 count.
Annabelle Schubik, another player who retired from basketball early in her career to focus on softball. Her nickname when she was little was Ball is Life. That's what she was affectionately known as.
I can see that.
From a terrific family.
Swinging strike two to Victoria. We're in the bottom of the second. No score coming to you from Colonia Middle. Here's the 1-2. That's low, 2-2 now. Two the count. No outs, nobody on. The pitch on the way. Full count now. And the payoff pitch, foul back. Annabelle still alive with a full count. Left fielder Camilo Westcott on deck for Colonia. The payoff on the way. Just got a piece foul. So we'll reset and do it again. Skylar Pulowski on the mound for the Old Bridge Knights. Here's the payoff again. That's into right field. That'll be extra bases.
Trouble in the gap. Annabelle hustling to second, going to third.
Annabelle's going to third. There'll be a play at third.
Safe. Great job. So Annabelle battled, stuck with it, hit it in the gap between the center and right fielder. What an awesome hustle play too to round second. Kept her head down, hustled, and the Patriots are in scoring position here.
So now Camilo Westcott with a runner on third. In there for a call, strike one. Annabelle sent a seeing eye grounder that split the right and center fielders in half. Here's the 0-1. That's grounded, that's a foul ball. And it's quickly 0-2.
Yeah, and Annabelle's hit, I didn't think it was hit that hard, but as soon as it hit the turf out there, it kind of jumped and really split the two defenders.
That's a matter of not how hard you hit it, but where you hit it, I guess.
Exactly. The timing was perfect.
So Colonia with a runner on third, the pitch. That's high, 1-2 now to Camilo Westcott. Skylar Pulowski now in a little bit of trouble. Colonia with a runner on third and nobody out. The 1-2 on the way. The changeup, grounded to second. Nice play. Run scores.
She does her job and drives in the run. Colonia is on the board. 1 to nothing.
Nicolette Ampania, second base for the Knights with a nice play there, but the run comes in, as Bobby mentioned. Colonia now up 1-0.
And you know what I think is interesting? We have not mentioned that this pitcher for Old Bridge is only a freshman. She's actually got 26 innings pitched on the season. So she's, it looks like their second pitcher, but only a freshman. Pretty impressive.
Colonia up 1-0. 1 out, bottom of the second. That's hit in the air to right, and right fielder lost it in the sun. Runner going to third.
Great job. That the sun was she's got shades on, but the sun is definitely tricky there. She came in, and then before you knew it, it was over her head. And let's go to the replay.
Yeah, let's look at it again. That was definitely a tough one. That sun is murdered this time of day when you're facing that direction, and you just couldn't handle it.
Yep. Great hustle too to make it to third for number 23, Sydney Leschauer.
That brings up Alyssa Leschauer now. So Colonia with a runner on third. That's strike one. 1 out, 1 on. Bottom of the second. And the 0-1 pitch to Leschauer. Foul back. 0-2.
Definitely a great way to start the inning with 2 triples. Well, actually, excuse me, a triple, a sacrifice, and then another triple.
The 0-2 on the way. High, she lays off. Ball 1. So second baseman Alyssa Leschauer now with an 0-2 count, hoping to drive in an insurance run. Here's the pitch. 2-2. One on, 1 out, the pitch on the way. And Leschauer goes down on strikes.
But Colonia puts a run on the board. It's 1-0 Colonia as we go into the top of the third, I believe, right?
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Yeah, it's a bit of a stiff breeze. That, like I said before, that roar you hear is nothing to be afraid of. And the pitch, swung on, strike 2.
Nice changeup.
I said Mariella very effective with that changeup, changing speeds.
Yes, we've mentioned it before, but very good pitcher, very experienced, very confident. Seems to always know the right pitch to throw.
Bouncer foul.
2-1. Number 21 fouls it off.
Number 21, that's Gabriella Keller at bat now for the Old Bridge Knights. Spina now with the 0-2. Low. Top of the third. Colonia versus Old Bridge. 1-0 Colonia with the 1-2 pitch is swung on.
Nice pitch. And as mentioned, these two teams play in the GMC Red National Division, which is a very competitive division. Colonia currently 4-2 in the division, and Old Bridge 3-5. So pretty soon the county tournament will be seeded, and obviously both of these teams will be in it. It's just a matter of what seed, what position as they start to finish out the regular season.
The count is 0-1 to Kira Lamaldi. 1 out here in the top of the third. Colonia up 1-0. And the 0-1. There's a bouncer to first.
Leo Westcott eats it up.
Easily taken by Leah. 2 down now.
Colonia has been steady in the field today. No errors that I can recall. Communicating, covering for one another. A well-coached team.
And that brings up Skylar Pawlowski, the Knights pitcher, way high. Skylar, as I mentioned, leading the Knights with 28 hits and 14 RBI. Actually tied with Danielle Flores for the lead in RBI. Here's the 1-0. That's high, ball 2. Just when you think the wind is dying down.
Yeah, I tell you, when it does die down, it is very nice.
This is a picture-perfect day. Picture perfect. The 2-0 pitch, foul. 2-1. Two out, nobody on for Old Bridge. The 2-1 pitch. 3-1. Spina's control's been pretty spot on, Bobby. She hasn't really behind. I don't think she's fallen behind until now.
No, and we're not keeping track, but very few walks either. So she's throwing strikes, forcing Old Bridge to make plays, and Colonia's been great on defense thus far. Oh.
That's lined into left center.
In the gap there.
That'll be extra bases. Sid Leschnauer up with it.
A nice piece of hitting there by number 14, who stayed in there and finally got her pitch and ripped it.
And Skylar Pawlowski. Let's take a look at it again. It's just a solid extra base hit.
Right in the gap.
So go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Old Bridge with 2 outs has a runner on second here. Let's see if they can advance her over or score on a base hit possibly.
Isabella Soto, the batter, the shortstop. 1 strike on her.
I don't think 1 run is going to win this game, so Colonia is going to need to put a few more if Old Bridge is going to keep hitting like they just did.
2 out, 1 on. Here's the 0-1. That's popped up.
An easy play there by
Second
number 9,
baseman Alicia Leschnauer. Yes,
So
and that'll do it.
we go to the bottom of 3. Colonia is still up 1-0, and we will be right back.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Colonia 1, Old Bridge nothing. Bottom of the third, Mike Forbes with Bobby Tominski. Colonia, Patriots softball here from Colonia Middle School.
Been a good game thus far, Mike. It's enjoyable, moving along.
And a well-pitched game, too.
Well pitched, yeah, well played, too. We have a little ball from the JV field as well as a malfunction here of our canopy.
Yes, canopies and wind.
As a result of the wind.
Don't often go together very well.
But we will survive. Nothing can stop us from getting the job done.
That's correct. Here's the pitch to Haley Conklin now. 1-0, bottom of the third, Colonia up 1-0. The 1-0 to Conklin, high, ball 2. Haley brings a .524 batting average to this game. That's in there for a strike. Two and 1 the count. And the 2-1 pitch. Guess that was low. 3-1, bottom of the third, nobody out. Patriots up by 1. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That's
up the middle.
Up the middle for a base hit.
Great piece of hitting. Great patience there by Haley Conklin. Waited for her pitch and ripped it up the middle. So Colonia starts with a runner on first here. Hopefully this is a harbinger of things to come this inning. As I mentioned earlier, Colonia is going to need more than one run to be a little safe in this game here.
Mariella Spina, our pitcher now. 1-0 to Mariella. So Colonia with a runner on first. 1-0 to Mariella. The 1-0 pitch. There's lined into center field for a base hit. Haley Conklin stops at second, so Colonia with a quick threat now with nobody out. Runners on first and second. And Leah Westcott, number 10, comes to the plate.
And Leah Westcott. Leah's had some terrific plays in the field here today for the Patriots.
She has. There's the pitch. That's a ground
rip
to left field. There's a base hit.
And the Colonia bats have
one run will be coming in. Left fielder bobbled that ball just momentarily.
Yes, and
Ella Kuhn had a little trouble handling that.
And Haley Conklin kept running, and as a result, scored that run there. So Colonia now 2-0. They have runners on first and second with no outs.
We'll take a look at that again. Nice clean hit. Like I said, left fielder Kuhn just momentarily bobbled it, allowing Haley Conklin to score. So a little conference on the mound by the Old Bridge Knights as they try to regroup here. As Bobby mentioned, runners on first and second for the Patriots, nobody out, so they're mounting a threat here in the bottom of the third. Here's the pitch. That's a bouncer right back to the pitcher. Going to be a tough play.
Trouble.
And everybody's safe.
That's it. And Arabella Palmieri ripped it hard back to the pitcher, and it got deflected towards third base. The third baseman had no choice but to come over, and then that left third base unattended. It just happened too fast for the shortstop to get over there to cover. So Colonia in a great spot here.
Victoria Trooper steps in now with the bases loaded. Here's the pitch.
Victoria Trooper, whose mother is a very integral part of our softball program here in town, both the Cyclones as well as our rec program. So thank you to her for all of her hard work.
That's in there for call strike one.
And Victoria is only a freshman, so big spot here for the freshman. Bases loaded.
The 1-1 to Trooper. Colonia loads him up, nobody out. Here's a chance to break this game wide open, Bobby.
Yes, it is.
And the pitch, swinging, strike two. Or is that strike three? That's strike three.
Strike three. All right, so next up is number 3, Annabelle Schubeck, who ripped a triple the last time she was up. So let's see if she can.
That's a little floater to right. That's going to drop in for a base hit. One run is in.
Oh, and
now two runs are in for the relays.
Obers just did not react. Leah Westcott with a great hustle. She hesitated for a second just to see what was going on, and she realized Oldbridge was not ready to make a play. The catcher and the pitcher actually were. Let's take a look at this. There's some hesitation here to cover. Annabelle putting the bat on the ball. Trouble in right field.
Camilla Westcott now the left fielder up.
So big third inning here for Colonia.
Colonia now up 4-0. Still only one out. Runners at first and second. And the 0-1. So 2 down.
Still with runners here at first and third. Up next we have number 23 for Colonia, Sydney Leschauer. Leschnauer, I'm sorry for the pronunciation. Last one she hit a triple as well. Yeah,
that's
nice
lined
rip.
into center for a base hit.
That'll bring in another run.
That'll bring in another run.
And the great piece of hitting.
Speedy Sydney legs it out for a double.
And once again, Old Bridge has a little bit trouble fielding the ball. It causes a hesitation, and it allows the Colonia runners to advance. So looks like the head coach or the pitching coach is out talking with freshman pitcher for
Skylar Pulaski.
Yep, Skylar Pulaski. Pulaski from Old Bridge, a freshman.
So Colonia making a lot of noise here in the bottom of the third, up 5-0 now.
Yeah, what a quick change of pace here. It immediately went from a 1-run game to a 5-run game in very few pitches. Colonia really just, the bats just have erupted thus far.
They really have.
Even the power with which they're hitting them is just a little bit more aggressive. And I don't know whether that's seeing the pitcher for 3 innings now, or if they just are relaxed and composed and getting hits, but something's changed.
And they're solid hits, slow.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I mean. They're coming off the bat a lot stronger.
Yeah. Here's the pitch. Slow.
Sometimes it just takes a little while for everybody to settle in, and Colonia certainly has at this point. Oh, it's a foul.
Foul, not far from us.
Yep. Into the bleachers, almost hit softball Paul. He did not react though.
Here's the 1-1 to Alyssa Leschnauer. That's
trouble.
lined into right for a base hit. That'll be 2 more runs for Colonia.
Up, going to second. Up,
and now we have a rundown between first and second. And she's tagged out.
And she's got her. But I believe the runs do score, right?
They do.
So
and that'll do it. But Colonia now with a 7-0 lead over Old Bridge as we go to the top of the 4th.
All right, let's go Colonia, 5-0.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Senior Danielle Flores leads off. Colonia now with a big lead, top of the 4th, 7-0 the score. And the pitch, swinging, strike one.
Pitch.
Mariela Spina still on the mound for Colonia. As Bobby mentioned, very effective, changing speeds, fastball humming.
Yeah, she's really done a nice job tonight. And hopefully now with 7 runs on the board, she can relax and throw even more.
Exactly.
It's a nice
into
rip.
left.
Nice
play by left fielder Camilla Westcott.
Nice play. She came in, but she was quick enough to react. And let's take a look at the replay
Let's
here.
look at it again. That was nicely done. As Bobby mentioned, she came in but stayed with it. That would have been an extra base hit.
For sure. Look at the extension on that. Great play. Great catch.
That's high. One to 0 now to Isabella Soto, the shortstop for the Old Bridge Knights. Here's the pitch. That's a bouncer to first. And Leah Westcott.
Leah Westcott gets the Gold Glove Award today thus far here in the 4th inning.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Very efficient. And it matters. You know, it's funny. If you look at some of the difference here is Colonia is fielding the ball very cleanly, making the next play and getting the out.
So 2 quick outs. That's a grounder up the middle. That'll be a base hit.
Nice rip. You can just tell by the sound of that ball was hit very hard.
So senior Danielle Flores now on first, and that brings up first baseman Kendall Riggleman for the Old Bridge Knights. 2 out, 1 on. Colonia up 7-0. We're in the top of the fourth. Mariela Spina still on the mound for the Colonia Patriots. That's grounded to third across the diamond, and that'll do it.
Great job. Fielded cleanly by number 4, Victoria Trupa.
So we played 4 full. Actually, we're going out of the bottom of the fourth. Score, Colonia 7, Old Bridge nothing.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Mike Forbes, Bobby Tominski with you. Bottom of the fourth now, Colonia Middle School. Colonia over Old Bridge 7-0, and Haley Conklin steps in. The pitch in there for a call, strike one.
Haley with a big hit earlier to get the rally going for Colonia.
The 0-1 on the way, low, that'll be ball one. And the 1-1. It's low, ball two. Both starting pitchers still in for both teams. Skylar Poloski now with the 2-1. That's grounded to third. One down.
Nice play by the third baseman for Old Bridge. Fields it cleanly, takes her time, and throws it across the mound.
That was Danielle Flores making that play for the Old Bridge Knights. So the pitcher, Mariela Spina, steps in with 1 out. The pitch is low, ball one. Colonia 7, Old Bridge nothing. Bottom of the fourth. And the pitch on the way. That's in there for a call, strike one. So the two pitchers face off here in the bottom of the fourth. 1-1 count to Spina. Changeup is hit into left field. That's a base hit.
So while we originally thought it was a miscue, that's actually her changeup.
That's her changeup.
Oh, we got it.
Bobby and I had thought earlier in the game that the changeup was a result of the wind taking it, but apparently not. So Leah Westcott now with a runner on first comes in. Here's the pitch.
There it is.
There's a fly ball to right. Kendall Riggleman makes the play.
The right fielder catches it cleanly.
And there are 2 down. Catcher Arabella Palmieri steps in with 2 down. Colonia with a runner on first, the pitch. Strike one. That one's high, 1-1. We're in the bottom of the fourth. The 1-1 now. There's a bouncer to the left to the right side to through for a base hit.
Good.
That was a seeing eye base hit, and now we have a run
down here. Safe.
Oh, got her.
I thought she got under it. That's all right. We go to the top of the fifth with Colonia still leading 7-0.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
To the top of the fifth we go. Sofia Fazzino, catcher for Old Bridge, steps in. She's their speedster, leading the team with 4 stolen bases this year. 7-0 Colonia. Marielle Spina still on the mound for the Patriots. Swinging strike 1.
And she's really been, I would say, pretty dominant today. You know, she's throwing the ball hard, and then the infielders have been steady, making big plays. So she's also gotten a lot of batters deep into the count, and then taking advantage of that with her crafty pitching.
She knows when to change speeds.
She does, and then she knows when to bring that fastball.
0-2 to Fazzino. Here's the pitch. There's a ground to short. Annabelle Schubik up with it across the diamond.
Never in doubt, Leah Westcott is catching everything thrown to her today.
So 1 down now, brings up the left fielder Ella Kuhn for Old Bridge. Spina with the pitch, low for ball 1.
So here we are in the top of the 5th. If Old Bridge doesn't start to get a few on the board here, this is going to look more challenging. But we've seen games where runs come quickly, so certainly for Colonia it did. So it's never over, but Colonia in a good spot here.
The 1-0 to Kuhn. 2-0 now. 1 out, top of the 5th. Colonia 7, Old Bridge nothing. Mariella Spina, as Bobby mentioned, dominated this game. Here's the 2-0. That's lined into center. It'll be extra bases as it goes to the wall. Kuhn headed to second.
She's in for a stand-up double. So as we were talking and kind of alluding to the fact that Old Bridge needed to start getting some runners, they start off with a runner on second here.
And just like that, they're mounting a bit of a threat here in the top of the 5th. Sydney Leschnauer getting that ball in. And that brings up Cyril Amaldi for Old Bridge with a runner on second. Nobody out. I'm sorry, 1 out. Spina with the pitch in there for a call, strike 1. So Old Bridge showing some signs of life here. The 0-1, strike 2.
Nice pitch.
Spina has a lot of the Old Bridge batters off balance too, Bobby, when
Sure.
she changes speeds.
She sure does, and that's the high IQ of a senior pitcher.
The 0-2, foul. So Cyril Amaldi still alive here in the top of the 5th. Count is 0-2. Old Bridge has a runner on second. There's 1 down. And Spina with the 0-2. Changes speeds. Strike 3. Had her completely fooled.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Great pitch.
That was nasty.
2 down here. Spina continues to pitch very well, and Colonia continues to make plays in the field. It's really not a complicated game, but it often becomes complicated when you don't make the next easy play.
That happens.
Or throw strikes, but Spina continues to throw strikes.
The pitch to Skylar Pelowski. Strike. I'm sorry, ball. The count is, that was a strikeout, it's 0-1, I believe. And the 0-1 pitch. 1-1 now. Two outs, runner on second, the 1-1. A bouncer foul to the left side. It'll be 1-2. Two down, here's the 1-2. That's a fair ball. Fair ball lined on the left field line.
And I couldn't see the angle, but it really looked foul from here, but immediately the coach recognized
From
it.
here it did, but it must have been, we can take a look at it again. It's been just down the line.
Yes, it was.
Just fair, just fair.
Right under the outstretched arms of the third baseman. It was a hard hit ball.
So Old Bridge on the board now. The score 7-1 Colonia. That's in the air to left. Tough play, but Camilla Westcott right there. She comes in and puts it away. So Old Bridge puts one up. Bottom of the fifth now. 7-1 Colonia.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Well, Bobby, the Old Bridge Knights made a little noise, but nonetheless, still 7-1 Colonia.
Yes, they definitely got a little energy there, but Colonia making the big plays and getting out of the inning. Again, a tribute to their teamwork, their fielding, and the good, steady pitching of Spina.
And Victoria Trupa steps in for the Colonia Knights. And the first pitch, a ball, 1-0. 1-0 rather, the count, 7-1 the score, Colonia, 7-1 Colonia. Here's the 1-0 to Trupa. That's in there for a call strike.
And as mentioned, Trupa, only a freshman. Obviously playing a big role in a varsity program early, which is terrific. With a rip,
well, that's a rip
center in the
right
gap.
center. That'll be extra bases for Victoria Trupa. She's rounding first, and she pulls in with a stand-up double, leading off the fifth.
Great start to the inning here. Nice hit by the freshman.
That was one of many nice, clean hits.
You see it again here. Great hit.
Good piece of hitting.
In between the center and right fielder.
Annabelle Schubik, the shortstop now, steps in with the runner on second. Nobody out. The pitch. That's a bouncer through for a base hit up the middle. Victoria, she's going to try to score. The throw, not in time.
Good hustle. And Colonia once again hitting the softball.
Annabelle Schubik with an RBI single, now 8-1 the Colonia, and that brings up Camilla Westcott, the left fielder, with a runner on first. Low ball one. So another run in for Colonia. 8-1 the score. Bottom of the fifth, nobody out. Runner on first. The 1-0 on the way. Foul back. Here's the 1-1. That's high ball two. So Annabelle Schubik on first with an RBI single, making it 8-1 Colonia. The 2-1, count even now, 2-2 to Camilla Westcott. Fooled her on that one, in there. Swinging strike three, 1 down. And we go to the top of the order. Sydney Leschnauer, the center fielder, steps in with 1 out. The pitch popped up foul to the left side.
And the Leschnauer sisters with big hits today. Both hitting lefty.
Starting a little Leschnauer dynasty here in Colonia.
Yeah, we got 2 Westcotts, 2 Leschnauers. We got the sister acts here.
Quickly 0-2 now to Sydney Leschnauer. 1 down. And the 0-2 pitch. That just missed. Clooney with a runner on second. One out, 1-2 pitch to Leschnauer. There's a grounder. Back to the pitcher. She recovers, just out at first. Close play. Runner advances.
Let's take a look at this again. Hit right back at the pitcher. She keeps it in front of her and makes the play at first. Leschnauer with a great hustle. It was, ooh, that looked a little closer on replay than it did in live.
Schuyler, I was going to say Schuyler did a good job just then. She knocked it down, but didn't rush.
Stayed in front of her and she made the play.
So 2 down. Colonia with a runner on second. Brings up Haley Conklin. I'm sorry, Alyssa Leschnauer. I'm one ahead. Alyssa Leschnauer now, second baseman, steps in for Colonia. 0-1 the count. Here's the 0-1. It's a little nibbler to the infield. And safe at first. And now we're going to have a rundown between third and home. This is a long one. She's going to be tagged out, and she is.
So Annabelle Schubik gets caught up in a rundown. That play actually started as not because anything Annabelle did, but the shortstop and second baseman were hesitant, and it led to a little uncertainty. But we're going to go now to the bottom of the fifth, or actually, I think we're going to the top of the sixth here at Colonia Middle School. We will be right back.
And Colonia up 8-1.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are in the right seats for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Well, Bob, I guess we can classify this so far as a bit of a blowout. Colonia up 8-1 over the Old Bridge Knights.
All right. Well, we're very happy with that outcome thus far. I hope it continues. Colonia has been dominant thus far. It's been fun to watch.
Swinging, strike one. Oh!
Hit hard to Schubik.
A little looper to Annabelle Schubik. Couldn't quite handle it. Good try, though. And Daniela Flores is on with a bloop hit. And brings up Kendall Riggleman, I'm sorry, for the Knights.
So Old Bridge not going away quietly. Start off the top of the sixth with a base hit here.
1-0 now to Riggleman. Runner on first for the Old Bridge Knights. Nobody out, the 1-0 on the way. That's in there for a call, strike one. The 1-1. Foul tip back, the count now 1-2. Old Bridge with a runner on first, and nobody out there, down 8-1 to Colonia. Mariella Spina still on the mound for the Colonia Patriots. And the pitch. That's a ground ball. That almost looked like it hit the batter. Hit the runner, rather.
Yeah,
I thought I heard a thud, but it might have been.
I did as well, but it looked like the ball had stayed straight, so I don't think that.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at this.
Yeah, let's look at it again. I thought I heard ball hit shoe, but I could be wrong.
Hard to tell from that angle.
Umpire didn't call it.
So. No, the umpire had a good sight line to that, so he did not make that call. So Old Bridge starting off here, first and second. Not going away easily.
No, they're not. They've mounted a few threats. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's high and away for ball 2. Oldbridge with runners on first and second, nobody out, so they're mounting a threat here in the top of the 6th. They're down 8-1 to Colonia. The 2-0
Right at
popped
her.
up and right at the second baseman. Alyssa Leschnauer making that play.
So nice to get an out on the board there with an easy routine play by Leschnauer. So let's see what happens here. Oldbridge still in some striking distance.
Swinging, strike 1.
Nice pitch.
Here's the 0-1. That's low for ball 1. Oldbridge rather mounting a bit of a threat here in the top of the 6th. Runners on first and second, 1 out. The 1-1 count. The pitch on the way, high, ball 2. Here's the 2-1.
Ooh.
That's in there for a call strike.
Nice pitch. Now 2-2. Spina has a bit of an advantage here. I think she's going to bring that high fastball.
The 2-2. Oh, foul back, still alive. Just got a piece of that.
Yeah, actually threw a little changeup.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Oldbridge with runners on first and second, 1 out. And here's the 2-2. That's in the air to center. Leschnauer.
Play. Center fielder
Making the
took
play.
her time, ran in, easy play. Wasn't sure if that was going to fall in that gap there, but Leschnauer was all over it. Good hustle, good play. So we have 2 outs here now. So Colonia looks like they're going to sneak out of this.
And with that, they can breathe a little easier.
Absolutely.
Ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Swung on, foul back.
And the wind continues, and we keep having our malfunction here.
And
luckily, we can fix it.
And our canopy continues to fall apart, but we're going to hang in.
I think the canopy was good for 30 miles an hour, and this wind is a little bit fast.
Exactly. Time now is called. Count is 1-1. We have 2 outs. Runners on first and second for Oldbridge. Here's the pitch. That's in the air to left center. And that's to the wall.
Off the fence.
Camilla Westcott couldn't quite make that play. So Oldbridge now. The 2 runs in.
Let's take a look at this one. This was quite a hit here. This actually one bounce to the wall.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
Westcott goes back on it, but it just was hit too far. It's actually hit off the fence.
No way she was going to get to that.
No, so credit goes to the hitter there for a big spot.
That's a bouncer to short.
Annabelle, good job. Annabelle with it takes her time to get Colonia out of it. So Oldbridge puts up 2 more on the board, and we go to the bottom of the 6th with Colonia still leading 8-3. We'll be back.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
If pitching change for the Old Bridge Knights, Gianna Lombardi now comes in to pitch.
Gianna is a senior. She's actually pitched 51 of the 119 innings thus far for Old Bridge. Has 119 prior to today. So she's a senior, experienced pitcher, replacing the freshman who, even though Colonia is up 8-3, I thought for a freshman, Skylar did a really good job. It's not easy as a freshman pitcher to pitch against a roster like Colonia has.
It's really not on the varsity level too, so
Yep.
definitely kudos to her.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Skylar did a very, very nice job. Haley Conklin now steps in for Colonia. And that's in the air to right center, and that falls. That'll be extra base. It's
trouble.
a
It'll be a
ground rule double.
double for Conklin.
Haley continues to break it.
Dominating today with excellent hitting by Conklin. I think she's a designated hitter, right? Because I didn't see her in the field, so she
She's-
must be DH
Yeah.
today.
It has DP. Is that designated player?
Could
Well,
be.
We're going to call it a designated player.
All she's been doing is hitting, but she's been playing too, so I guess either one is appropriate.
In any case, that's what she did.
And
So
she has been hitting, so that's
she truly has. So that brings Colonia's pitcher Mariela Espina up with a runner on second, nobody out. Count is 1-0 the pitch. There's a bouncer through for a base hit. And that'll score a run.
Good cut, good cut.
Mariella with an RBI single. Colonia now up 9-3 here in the bottom of the sixth. Brings up Leah Westcott. With nobody out, one on. And the pitch to Leah is low for ball one.
And Leah, not unlike Trupa, is only a freshman, so Colonia has a bunch of freshmen on their roster, which is a really good thing, good sign for the future for Colonia.
That's lined into left for a base hit.
Nice hitting.
Runners
by Leah.
advance. Leah with a clean single to left. So Colonia continuing to hit the ball well. Runners on first and second, nobody out. Bottom of the sixth as they mount another threat, up 9-3 over Old Bridge. And the catcher, Arabella Palmieri, steps in with runners on first and second. That's low, ball one.
Nice pitch by Obridge.
Count 1-1 now to Palmieri. Here's the 1-1. That's a little looper to the infield. And everybody's
Trouble
safe.
in the shortstop
Nobody's
and
gonna,
second baseman
Guys, help him get up.
nobody's
did
gonna
not
get
communicate, and they actually collided. Obridge has had some communication issues in the infield today.
that. I think everybody's okay.
Yep, hopefully she's all right. Coach comes out to check on her. I understand they're both being aggressive, but somebody's got to call that, or
Somebody
somebody has to make that play.
Somebody has to
Communicate
call
a little
the-
bit.
Exactly. Someone's got to call somebody off. So now Colonia threatening yet again. Bases loaded with nobody out. Yeah, that was definitely playable. As you said, Bobby, just a matter of miscommunication.
Yep. It happens.
And Victoria Trupa now steps in with the bases juiced. Nobody out.
Yeah, and the last time she ripped one to center field.
Swinging strike one. Changeup.
Yeah. You call that a ball? 1-1 to Truba.
Lombardi pulling the string there. Here's the 1-1.
Coming our
That's
way.
popped to the right side. Fair
That's in.
ball. That's in. One run is in.
Oh, there we go. Colonia with another run on the Truba hit with a throw. So That was hit high, and it actually dropped in right behind the first baseman. That's too far for the right fielder to make a play on it. I think Troop was okay. She just got hit with a pitch. Excuse me, not a pitch, but a throw from right field to the first baseman.
That was a seeing eye, little looper to right.
Yep.
That dunked in. And now Colonia's up 11-3.
Got the job done, that's for sure.
It did.
I don't know if that was a function of the wind, but that ball kind of just went up in the air and then just died.
Shortstop Annabelle Subik steps in. Here's the pitch.
Annabelle.
That's in the air to left. And center fielder Victoria Keller makes the play for Old Bridge, and we now have one out. Left fielder Camilla Westcott with runners on first and second. That's hit high in the air to the infield.
Infield fly, batter's out.
Infield fly rule was called as the pitcher couldn't handle that, but nonetheless, the runner did advance.
So number 23, Sydney Leschnauer, up to bat. Sydney is the senior of the two sisters. The other, Leschnauer, is only a freshman. One of the really good freshmen that Colonia have in their lineup.
That's ball two. Runners on second and third with one out. Center fielder Leschnauer steps in with a 2-0 count now. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And that's grounded up the middle to
nice
second.
Play by the
Nice
second.
play by the yes.
Second baseman to gobble that up. And we go to the top of the 7th. So unless Old Bridge puts up a 8 spot here to tie it up, I think our night could be coming to an end pretty soon, hopefully.
11-3 Colonia. We'll be right back.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Old Bridge with the top of the order coming up. Kira Limaldi steps in. 11-3 Colonia, unless, like Bobby mentioned before, Old Bridge can
Manufacture 8 runs. It
Yeah.
looks like Colonia is in a good spot here, but it's never over till it's over.
They have an uphill climb, and here's the pitch. Low, ball one. Mariela Spina so far going the distance for Colonia, done a fabulous job holding Old Bridge to 3 runs. And the 1-0. 1-1 now to Kira Limaldi. Top 7, Colonia 11, Old Bridge 3. Coming to you live on Facebook and YouTube from Colonia Middle School. Here's the 1-1. 2-1. The 2-1 to Limaldi. That's popped up to short left, gonna be tough. That dunks in for a base hit. Limaldi heading to second. That was in no man's land, that one.
Yep, and again, not unlike you mentioned earlier, the sun combined with the wind, combined with no man's land, made that a difficult play. So Old Bridge starts off with a runner on second.
So nobody out, one on. The pitch, fly ball to center.
Nice catch.
Sid Leschnauer, rather, mispronounced her name, made a nice play. And as like you said, Bobby, again, not to beat a dead horse, but that sun has to be tough out there.
Absolutely.
And she stayed with it. So 1 down. Foul back. Old Bridge with a
Heads
runner.
up.
Old Bridge with a runner on third now. Top of the 7th, Colonia 11, Old Bridge 3. Count is 0-1. Pitch on the way.
Ooh,
Swinging. Strike
that's
2.
a heck of a pitch. Spina just reared back.
She's done that throughout this game.
Yep,
And we said before, her changeup makes her fastball even more effective.
absolutely.
Here's the 0-2.
Popped
Still
up,
alive.
out of play.
What? 2 strikes.
1 out, 1 on for Old Bridge. The 0-2. Lined into
nice
center, base hit.
center.
That'll score a run.
That'll score a run and make it 11-4, but don't want to say that run doesn't matter, but all we have to worry about here for Colonia with 2 outs is just to get the next easy out.
Run first and be set up a double play as Danielle Flores steps in. That's low for ball 1. Old Bridge with a run in, now 11-4 Colonia. The 1-0 to Flores. Swung on, that's looped into short center. That's going to fall. So now, all of a sudden,
Old Bridge is hanging around, refusing to go down. Credit to them.
absolutely, the bat's waking up.
But as I mentioned, really Colonia, yeah, Old Bridge is making a run, but the game is still 11-4. Just make the next easy, tough play.
It's an uphill climb.
Yep.
Uphill climb. Kendall Riggleman steps in. The runner's on first and second, 1 out. A double play will wrap this up for the Colonia Patriots. Here's the pitch. High, ball 1.
Oh.
The 1-0 to Riggleman. High 2-0.
Yep. Let's make the next easy out. Throw strikes, make the next easy out, and get this game in the win column.
2-0 the count. And the 2-0 pitch.
Outside.
So very few times during this game has Spina fallen behind, but she falls behind now to Kendall Riggleman, the first baseman.
Hey.
That's in there for a called strike 1.
Nice pitch.
The 3-1.
Ah, nice pitch. One more. I'm not a pitching coach and I don't know anything about pitching, but if I were her, I would rear back and
Just
throw it.
fire one. Huh? Well, let's see if she does just that, Bobby. Here's the payoff pitch.
Oh, just a little bit outside.
So now with 1 out, Old Bridge loads them up here in the top of the 7th.
Excuse me.
Again, perfect setup for a double play, and that'll wrap it up for Colonia. Abby McSorley, the right fielder, steps in with the bases loaded, 1 out. Old Bridge down by 7. And the pitch. Strike one.
Big one. Oh.
Here's the 0-1. Changeup is outside, ball one.
So this is one of these situations where you can really start to feel a lot of pressure, but pitcher just needs to relax, throw strikes, let her team in the field make a play.
And
There's still a sizable lead here.
Foul back, as you pointed out, Bobby. Spina's been through this before. She's faced.
It's where you want a senior with experience who's been here, done that, and as you can see, Coach Donahue is not up, and she's showing some composure too, knowing that the game is right now in control. Could get out quickly, but make the next easy play and you'll be all right.
The 1-2. Foul back. She stays alive. Here's the 1-2 again. That's popped up to the infield. Easy play, makes it 2 down. Right to Annabelle Shubik. So now Old Bridge down to their final out. Bases loaded with Knights, 2 down. The pitch, high. The 1-0, high, ball 2. Now, the 2-0 pitch.
So the wind continues to rip through the back.
And pretty much threaten our lives, too. Maybe not quite that bad.
We have some tent malfunctions, but
we have, yes, some shelter issues.
I will be honest, if we haven't tipped over yet, we probably won't tip over.
We're probably not going. No, I think we're good.
Nevertheless, it is rocking. The boat is rocking, and Colonia now needs to figure out a way to get this last out.
So center fielder Victoria Keller draws a walk, brings up Sophia Fazzino, the catcher. Bases loaded, 2 out, down to their final out, Old Bridge is. The pitch to Fazzino in there for a call, strike 1.
Hey,
here's the 0-1. Foul back. 0-2. Old Bridge now down to their final strike.
I'll have that unlocked when you get there. Just call me. Thank you.
Old Bridge threatening. Top of the 7th. Bases loaded, 2 down, and 0-2 count to Sophia Fazzino.
Thank you. Oh, sorry about that. Bye-bye.
Here's the 0-2. Swinging, strike 3, the ball game is over. Colonia with an 11-5 victory over the Old Bridge Knights. Bobby, what a game.
What a game, and what a nice job you did. Well, how much fun we had today. Great win for Colonia. Old Bridge fought to the very end, leaving bases loaded, but a credit to them for their effort, but a credit to Colonia for getting the win. And before we go, we'd like to thank our crew.
Let's do it. We have on camera Emil Brandafi, Alex Brandafi, and Raj Sarohi, graphics, Frank Martins. Replay, Wilmar Rubiano. Audio live stream, taking care of that is Bruno Martins. Our technical director, Joe Fernandez, and our director heading up Woodbridge Channels is Gina Forbes. And we thank all of them. A nice, beautiful afternoon and a good game and a fine pitching performance by both teams.
Absolutely.
Up until a point, obviously.
Quality win by Colonia. They needed it. And Old Bridge, like I said, to their credit, they competed. It's just Colonia was a little bit better today. And congrats to them, congrats to Coach Donahue and her staff, and thank you as everybody gave me the opportunity to be here today. I loved it. I'm always available for TV 35, so thank you.
Had a good time. Thank you so much, Bobby. This is Mike Forbes for Channel 35. Thank you for joining us. Colonia Softball.